Hello, this is how to connect to Kubuntu 2604 in graphical user interface mode using the remote desktop protocol by installing the xrdp RDP server. This is my wiki page and mariusp.github.io. The first link in here with RDP. Scroll to Kubuntu and we're going to install the xorg, xrdp and xrdp deb packages. And that is possible because KDE Plasma in Kubuntu 2604 still has the X11 session available as a deb package. It's not installed by default, but you can install it. So this is a fresh, clean installation of Kubuntu 2604 as a virtual machine in Virt Manager QEMU. Let's connect to the session, graphical user interface session. This is KDE Plasma using Wayland. We're going to install some packages and then we want to log into the KDE Plasma X11 session. So let's run exactly this command line. Copy paste probably does not work because it's not implemented yet. In QEMU KDE Plasma Wayland. Install Plasma session X11 xrdp xorg xrdp. Let's see if the names of the packages are the same, did not change between Kubuntu 25.10 and Kubuntu 2604. And it seems that the names of the packages are the same, these three. Thank you for subscribing and helping this YouTube channel. I have installed the needed packages. I'm actually going to restart the computer and then make sure we're logging into the KDE Plasma X11 session. We don't really need to do this logging into the KDE Plasma X11 session, but let's do it, make sure that the session does work correctly. The computer has finished restarting. Now in the desktop manager in SDDM, we can see two desktop sessions, Plasma Wayland and Plasma X11. Let's try to connect using a remote desktop protocol client. At the end of this page, there's the possibility of the RDP client, free RDP. There are more available for Linux. There's at least two available for Windows. You can read in this wiki page. So we're going with free RDP as available in Kubuntu 2604. I have installed the needed package, which is called FreeRDP X11. Let's see how the command line looks like. So xFreeRDP, the name of the executable, and then the username, and then the IPv4 address of the computer. Ends with 92. And then the best features of the RDP protocol, the best speed /network:/LAN, and then we want to be able to resize the remote desktop protocol client window. And once we do that, via remote desktop protocol, the RDP client will tell KDE Plasma to change the resolution of KDE Plasma. We don't actually want to have the sound that is being created on the RDP server be played back on the devices of the RDP client, but you could do that. So this should be the command line. Asks for the password. Do I want to trust the self-signed certificate of the xrdp RDP server? Yes. we are connected using the remote desktop protocol, but then we didn't see the bottom panel, the main KDE Plasma panel, so this thing inside the remote desktop server. So this is the command line. We are going to look at the command line parameters for the width. So that's 1080p resolution, which means height 1080 pixels, width 1920 pixels. And then we also have this feature which says dynamic resolution, which means that when we resize this window, it will tell KDE Plasma to change its resolution. Let's actually see the resolution of KDE Plasma. So it's this number, 960 by 512 pixels if we tell the FreeRDP window to take a quarter of the screen. If we tell the FreeRDP window to take half of the screen, the resolution will be 960 by 1008. If we maximize the FreeRDP window, the resolution will be as wide as 1080p, but then the height will be less because space needs to be allocated out of the 1080p, so that's 1080 pixels. See, 72 pixels in the height will be allocated to the height of the title bar of FreeRDP, and for the height of the KDE Plasma main panel. So it's very intuitive what the dynamic resolution command line parameter does. And it's an important feature that I actually want whenever I connect to another computer, being a remote one, a virtual machine, or another user session on this same hardware machine. I always want this feature, dynamic resolution. I want the application that I use to show the remote graphical user interface session to take as few unneeded pixels as possible. In the case of the FreeRDP window, it's just the title bar. There's no menu or status bar. And then whenever I resize the FreeRDP window, either automatically or very easily, the resolution of KDE Plasma inside the remote desktop protocol connection should be changed such that we don't have any stretching, any blurriness. The fonts look perfect, the lines look perfect, everything looks as it should inside the FreeRDP window. Okay, so that's a very important feature that the remote desktop protocol provides us. The other important feature that, so this is described at the top of this page, rdp.html. The second feature that I must have is copy-paste of text. Let's see if that works. Let's open two text editors, one inside the RDP server and the other one inside the RDP client. Let's copy paste from the RDP client towards the RDP server, and it works. And from the RDP server towards the RDP client, and it works. And then there's additional features that I don't use that often. The option of forwarding sound to the host machine, I use it maybe twice per month. The feature of serving the home directory on the RDP client inside the RDP server machine, I use it maybe twice per month. And the speed is really, really good. Everything is really, really snappy. Transparency works. Everything just works as expected. I don't really feel a difference between connecting to a virtual machine using RDP or connecting to the same hardware machine but with another user account using RDP, or just using my hardware computer. Everything behaves exactly the same. The same speed, the same transparency, pixels look correct, fonts look correct. So this is it. The xrdp server can still be installed on Kubuntu 2604 because KDE Plasma still provides an X11 session, opposed to GNOME Shell version 50 that doesn't have an X11 session in Kubuntu 2604 any longer. This is it. I really like the combination xrdp KDE Plasma X11 server. I do use it. Thank you.